All right, everyone. How are you doing? It is Monday. You already know I love Mondays. Hit the horn. Why do I like Mondays? Mondays, everything gets going. Businesses open back up. You can take care of business that you got to take care of and get things happening. So I'm always super excited about Mondays. For those of you who were watching Facebook earlier today, you know that we were covering an event for the Bremerton Housing Authority. So that was very exciting for the ribbon cutting of a new building for foster care youth. And so our show that was scheduled at 1:30 got pushed until this time because our guest, Pastor Susie Beil, is also a commissioner for the Bremerton Housing Authority. So we were both at that location acknowledging that tremendous event and milestone here in Bremerton and here in Kitsap County. So I'm going to let a few people come on in just because we started late. And so folks might be feeling like, oh, well, I'm going to go and do something else. But so I'll give a few seconds for people to come on in, make sure everything is set. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got a great show for you today, as we always do, but we have a very, very special guest with us. And looks like we're firing on all cylinders. So today we have Pastor Susie Beil. Go ahead and hit the horn for that. And Pastor Susie is the pastor of Summit Avenue Baptist Church. Presbyterian Church. If you remember, a couple years back, I actually was a guest at that church. And you can see that on the Conduit and on their YouTube channel as well. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about Pastor Susie Beil. Reverend Dr. Susie Beil has been their lead pastor at Summit Avenue since August of 2012. She's an ordained minister in the Presbyterian Church, USA, and holds a Master of Divinity from Princeton Seminary and a doctorate of ministry from Fuller Seminary. In her earlier life, she has also earned a master's in environmental health from the University of Washington and a Bachelor of Science from Gonzaga University. Pastor Susie has served on the Kitsap Council for Human Rights and currently serves as a commissioner for the Bremerton Housing Authority, as I was just sharing. She also participates with the Kitsap ERACE Breaking Bread for Racial Justice Faith Leaders team. So we're talking about a very special individual here. But wait, there's more. In addition to leading the congregation in worship and discipleship, Pastor Susie is also available by appointment to meet with individuals and couples for pastoral care, prayer, and counseling. She is a certified facilitator for the SYMBIS Pre-Marriage Assessment and Counseling Program. She loves to meet with couples preparing for marriage. Pastor Susie and her husband have lived in Bremerton since 2008 with their 3 boys. Pastor Susie loves reading, cooking, gardening, and spending time with family and friends. As a family, they also love the outdoors and enjoy camping and hiking in the glorious Pacific Northwest. Now, that is quite a dossier there, but let's go ahead and bring up Pastor Susie Beil. How you doing there, Pastor Susie?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Marwan.
Oh, man. I have not read your bio before.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't seen
Just
that.
now.
Yeah.
What
That's
is
me.
my dad went to Colgate
Yeah.
Divinity School in New York.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading that, and I don't know a lot of people that went to Divinity School. Can you talk a little bit about that just really quick?
Oh, well, yeah,
Real
it
quick.
was seminary, Princeton
Mhm.
Theological Seminary. I spent 3 years there from 1998 to 2001, and yes, there was required classes like Greek and Hebrew and theology and church history classes, and then electives that I loved, like on prayer and pastoral care, and yeah, so I loved it. It was a great 3 years.
And for that, you end up studying many religions. Is that true?
Uh, there was options to do that. I took some classes on Islam and Christianity and the interactions through the centuries between the two religions. But for my Master of Divinity, that wasn't central to it. It was kind of on track for becoming a Presbyterian minister. So there was certainly cross-cultural and interfaith dialogue and ecumenical, which means across denominations, efforts and stuff. But the coursework, that would be kind of in the electives area. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, my dad is no longer with us, but I loved having conversations with him just because, of his education, right? And so
Yeah.
it's a different experience from someone who has a calling and is I would say allowed. There are churches where you can preach if the church sees fit, and then other folks need to go to divinity school and the
Yeah.
route that you took. So
Yeah. In the Presbyterian Church USA, it's required that pastors have to have an MDiv, or Master of Divinity. A lot of mainline denominations require that of their pastors. Yeah.
So I miss those conversations. So maybe one day you and
Yeah.
I will have I can pick your
That's
brain on
right.
some things.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah. It
cool.
sounds like you miss your dad.
I do. But I was just handing out Father's Day messages, and I just talked about, making sure in your youth we kind of reject our parents sometimes, but those lessons that are being taught, you really want to hold on to and try to remember and cherish because you're going to need them later. And I lean on those all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really special. But we're here for something super exciting. Hit the horn. Summit Avenue is doing something really cool. And so I wanted you to come on and talk about it.
Yeah. Boy, someone asked us a question a few years ago, or we were at a conference asking this question, if your church were to close down tomorrow, would anybody in the neighborhood know that you were gone? And that was kind of an eye opener, because churches are really good at focusing on themselves and what's coming up on Sunday or what's coming up for the church. And so we have been working towards more community focus, and some churches have always been good at community focus, and Summit has a long history of being involved in the neighborhood and the community, but it had been sort of waning for a while. So anyway, we've had a real community engagement focus these last 5 years, and for 4 of those years we had some grant money to hire a full-time community engagement director, and she is now launched into her own community ministry she's doing a prison ministry just down the road in Gig Harbor at the Women's Correctional, WCCW. And so in this last year, we also, while Pastor Deanna was transitioning into her prison ministry, we in the congregation wanted to continue our focus on the community. And so we have developed and just launched a brand new nonprofit called Summit Outreach Services, which has the fun acronym of SOS.
All right.
And so, so we've got a new nonprofit, and we got started with this on a couple different reasons. One, we wanted to be more community focused, and we did some consulting work with some pastors on the East Coast, New Jersey, some friends from seminary, actually from Princeton, Reverend Seth and Reverend Stephanie Copperdale at the Reformed Church of Highland Park, where they've been for about 23 years, doing great work. If you want to see some inspiring stuff, go check them out. Reformed Church of Highland Park, New Jersey. They've got several nonprofits doing great ministry. And so they were teaching us some things. And so we took about a year to figure this out. And we just finally got all our paperwork together to launch our 501c3. And I can tell you more, but I imagine maybe you have some questions in particular, Marwan.
Well, that's big. Well, one, that's a really hard question to, one, be asked, and then two, to answer, right? If you were gone, what would be the impact? Would you be missed? And so you came together, you decided, hey, we're going to continue this mission on. The prison ministry is taken off. And so what is it that you was pressed upon the heart of SOS? This is
Yeah.
what we're going to do. What was
Pressed
that?
upon. That's a great question. Pressed upon the heart. Yeah, and just to clarify, Pastor Deanna, she was called to a prison ministry that was already in existence through the
Okay.
Olympia Presbytery called Hagar's Community Church, and so she felt that call to go to that community ministry, and we blessed her on that journey, and we love staying in touch with her about her work. But what pressed upon our heart to start with, well, my work with the Kitsap County Council for Human Rights was really eye-opening in so many ways in our community, and the human rights issue that kept coming up that was most pressing on my heart as a person and as a pastor was housing and homelessness. We've had we live close to our church is close to Benedict House, which is a ministry of the Catholic Community Services, which is just 2 blocks away from us, and we partner with them on some things. And some men will park in our parking lot overnight, or I mean, they leave their cars here while they're living in the shelter. But then that also has meant some folks, when they're done at Benedict House, stay in our parking lot. We have RVs that sometimes park here overnight, and that's really pressed on us to say, what are we doing about housing and homelessness and housing insecurity in our neighborhood? And so we have a piece of property behind our building that's a parcel that we said, hey, what if we did something with that? And so we've had it checked out with the city to see that it's indeed buildable and to see how many units we could put on it. I met with Jill Stanton from Bremerton Housing Authority, and we brought her in to have a meeting with us about a year and a half ago. And she, church people get focused on, well, that's a lot of money or that's a big project. And Jill works in such big spaces, and she is such a optimist and visionary. She's like, oh, this is not that hard. Like, we can do this. This is possible. Let's figure this out. And extended her connections through BHA. And so anyway, we got some movement towards looking at building something here for affordable housing. But then our folks when we started to put together a board to develop this SOS nonprofit, and people said, that feels too big to do affordable housing. How about we do something we know we can do right away while we work on getting funding and vision and the larger plan for the affordable housing. And so we have a big kitchen and fellowship hall, social hall in our church. And so we started partnering with Kitsap Rescue Mission last fall to start hosting some community dinners. And Chef Chris at Kitsap Rescue Mission was fabulous, and he brought a team down a couple of times and showed us how to do it. And now we've done 3 community dinners on our own, and we have another one this week. We're trying for Thursday nights at the end of the month. That was the night that our building was available, and our team could leverage resources to make that happen. So yeah, we've been having community dinners, and we're getting the word out through as many channels as we can. And we invited Marwan in to give us some ideas and brainstorm and with us a couple weeks ago, and here we are on the podcast.
So tell me this, and we'll get to the details on what time and
Yeah,
what day
sure.
and all that good stuff. But tell me about the dinners. One, who are the dinners for? What do you serve? What's the
Yeah.
experience been like?
Yeah, well, you know what? Can I back up just a minute?
Sure.
We did develop a mission statement and a vision statement, and that'll kind of shape the question you asked, my response to that dinner question. So our mission, the mission of Summit Outreach Services, is to facilitate opportunities for safe, affordable housing, supportive services, and meaningful connections to low-income individuals and families in Kitsap County. And our vision for SOS, in partnership with our community, is a future where everyone in Kitsap County has access to safe, affordable housing, healthy food, and support services as a basic human right, and that all people are treated with dignity and respect as part of a connected community. So we want to feed hungry people with food, but also with connection, with community. And so, like, it's been important to us to have like real plates cloth napkins, real silverware. Come in and sit down. And we've had live music. We have a beautiful piano in our hall. And the first dinner we had, um, a friend of my son's who's a piano player and he's really good. I said, "Hey, can you come help us out and play some music?" And when he took a break, one of our guests, he said, "Can I play the piano?" And since then, Tom comes and he eats his dinner and then he plays the piano for us and
Uh,
with us and just from memory, all these songs. And so we look forward to seeing him each time and he looks forward to connecting with us. And so we want to make meaningful connections between um, our neighbors and people in our church, people in our neighborhood. We're also on a bus line, so people can get right to us. There's a bus stop right outside our church, and so we're accessible across the county for folks that want to come.
well, there are so many needs in our community, and homelessness is a big one. Hence your mission statement. And feeding people is also very important. And the first thing you have to do is just solve the problem, right? Get food in bellies,
Yeah,
and then once you get past that, then you can get into building the community piece. And
yeah,
just sharing that short story, you can feel and hear the community that's already
yeah,
been created, and you
yeah,
just started, right?
yeah,
The
right,
real plates, the
right.
music, and then also allowing those that you're serving to also be of service by
That's right.
playing the piano.
Yeah,
That's really important to us too. So, I mean, you can hear it, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like I said, we have this connection with Benedict House, and one of the men who's been parking here, leaves it, parks his car here, and is at the house, and he saw the signs, and he's like, "I'm bringing some friends," and so this last month we had a handful of friends from Benedict House, and one of the things we've noticed too is we have a regular group of church friends that come. Some serve, some help and volunteer, others just come to have dinner because that's part of it is we want to be good neighbors and we want to be in community. And we're noticing in the last couple of dinners that people are sticking around and people are talking to one another and to church members, to their neighbors, and we have neighbors that are like, give us cards so we can invite more neighbors because we want to come and do this some more.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So, a couple questions that I wanted to ask and put that in the chat for folks.
Yeah.
Um, one, what does SOS need, and how can people help if they want to get involved?
Yeah. Thanks, Marwan. That's a great question. What does SOS need? Well, we did some fundraising this year. We got a nice deposit in our bank account from our church's community fund, and then we did a big fundraiser for. We had a big rummage sale in March, which was early April, and now it was super fun. And raised some more money, and so we're looking at grants, and we could use help figuring out grant writing, and so the some people who like to do fundraising and grant writing for these kinds of things. We're interested in that and help getting the word out and help connecting us too with um, community members or community partners. Marwan, you shared some great ideas about, each month maybe bringing in a different community partner. So it's the the clothing closet trailer that comes and is in our
Shout out
parking
to
lot.
Anton. Yeah.
Yeah, talking to Anton and maybe, having different community partners because that's, Marwan and you and I were just at the ribbon cutting for a new apartment building for young adults who are struggling with housing insecurity, the Evergreen Bright Start building. And I've heard this before, and I heard it at this gathering again that Kitsap County's superpower is its collaborative spirit and collaboration and connection between agencies. And so we know we can't do this alone. And
Mhm.
so community partners and relationships with community partners, that would be helpful. We also want to grow our board and our advisory board. We want to have people from our community, not just from our church. Right now, we have one community member who's not a member of our church. We'd like to get more people who are interested in this kind of work, maybe with some interest in community or in affordable housing and in these feeding programs or other gaps in services. So we're looking to grow our board. And so that's something we need.
Let me
I
ask
think,
you this, because a lot
yeah,
of when people hear board, they get really intimidated. So,
sure.
what does it take to be on a board, or at least on this board?
Right. That's a good question. So, well, we have kind of two levels there. We're figuring this out too. So, but we like to have advisory board type people that don't have an official role. They can come to meetings when they're available, or they can, like, we have two neighbors that we consider on our advisory board, right? They check in with us about once a week because we have a food pantry out front and they help keep it stocked. And so they stop in and they're like, "Where are the postcards?" And they give us feedback on what we're missing in our communication strategies. So that, because they're people that coming to these dinners, and so um what I just lost the train of thought where we were.
Yeah. What does it take to be a board member for
To be a
SOS?
board member. So that's
Mhm.
so advisory people, people who at the advisory level, neighbors or people who might want to say, can we help with one event? Um, Once a year or every quarter, we'd like to help, and also we want to give support to you and ideas, and help with the ideation and also the follow through. That would be sort of advisory level, people we can check on, and or to say, hey, we're working on this event, what do you think, or this next program, can we get your inputs? There's advisory levels, but also to be a board member, we have the minimum right now with the president, vice president, treasurer, and um, secretary. And so we have those covered, but additional board members who could meet once a month and take on an area of responsibility, whether it's dialing in the dinners, or helping us with grant writing, or helping move the vision forward on um, the affordable housing project. Someone in that area that would be able to say, yeah, I can come once a month to we can meet on Zoom or we can meet in person. We kind of have done both. And also I have some capacity and energy between those meetings to do some follow through and dig into a piece of what we want to be about, whether it's about affordable housing, meaningful connections, support services, that kind of thing. So to help us cast the vision, because it's pressing on our heart to be a community of service to our community, and even just figuring out what exactly that looks like and what the most pressing needs are to help us listen.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is, one, someone who has the passion to give back in this capacity and help to grow the program. Someone that may have had experience in providing food
That's
to the
right.
community and cooking in bulk, and
Yeah.
making those dollars stretch, because food is expensive,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Uh,
right.
and
That's
trying
right.
to make all those things together. Uh, I know that you're a small congregation, and so
Yeah.
small do mighty things.
Yeah.
Uh, in the name of God, we're able to punch way higher than our belt, as always. Um, and so, one, I wanna keep kinda pushing this out. Is the best way for people to get in touch the summitave.net and the 377-2740, or is there another contact?
That's a great question. Yes, we do have an email,
Okay.
which is SOS
SOS.
at,
Mhm.
and that's at summitave.net.
Summitave.net. Alright, I'm typing that in the chat for
SOS
everyone.
at summitave.net. Yeah.
So that is how you would like to reach out.
But
Uh,
yes, that phone number, if you like to make a phone call to it's our church office right now, then he can direct you to and I'm currently the president of the organization of the nonprofit, but our vice president, Judy, she'll be fielding a lot of these calls and connections, as I'm going to be on sabbatical this summer. Um, that's another fun conversation, but we'll stay focused for now.
Nice, nice. All right, so tell me what kind of food, what have you served so
Yeah,
far?
yeah. So Well, with Chef Chris, I mean, he's a fabulous chef, and we had, Italian night one night, we had
Ooh,
Mexican theme night, we had
wow.
one night we just had pizza. We brought in some Costco pizzas and
Okay.
salads and sodas, and it was easy peasy, and everybody loves it. Um, and then we've had another round. Now we have someone on our board who's leading the menu planning, and we had another Mexican night in April, and then this May we had Italian theme night again, and those are two easy ones. And then this week, Thursday night, we're having a barbecue outdoors. And so yeah, we're gonna have the grill up going. I think it's gonna be hot dogs, but we also have chili and potato salad and kind of outdoor summer
Ooh,
barbecue
yeah.
deal this Thursday. And we have a courtyard in our upper parking lot. We're gonna have some covered and pop-ups and tables set up, so it'll be kind of a outdoor vibe.
Excellent. Well, that
Yeah,
sounds like some really good food there.
yeah,
Um, again, it's so powerful. Pre-COVID, G2 was doing a food program, and it
yeah,
was important for us to serve on real plates with real utensils and
yeah,
to play music,
yeah,
just as SOS is doing now, and
yeah,
creating that sense of community. I would say I think another need expressed is folks that want to kind of create that community and talk with
yeah,
folks,
yeah,
and build those relationships.
yeah.
'Cause I think you shared
That's
some of
right.
that when we met,
That's
and
right.
that's so important.
Build relationships, and yeah, we want to be a place of connection, and we have someone leading yoga in our church on Thursday
Oh,
nights once a
wow.
month, and it's been on the same night a couple of times. This month it won't be, but we have sanctuary yoga that's been starting at 5:30 and goes till 6:30, and then that yoga group comes in for dinner, so there's kind of a buzz in the area. And then we have Sleepless Nights, a Narcotics Anonymous group that meets in our church on Thursday through Sunday evenings, and they start about 8 o'clock. And so we try to get out of there before they come in, but there's some overlap and there's some buzz like with that. We enjoy interacting with them. They're a great group, and sometimes they come early for dinner and or they're helping, with the cleanup. And so um yeah, we want to be a place of meaningful connections, and we could use help with, what are we missing in this?
Mhm.
What are we not doing yet that is would be connected easily to that those dinners right now, and what else might be needed in our community that we could respond to.
And so while people are listening, to Pastor Susie Beil, from Summit Ave Church, they have
Yes.
started their 501(c)(3) Summit Outreach Services. As you're thinking, and you're like, "Oh, how can I get involved?" If you don't have the time to actually physically be there, maybe you have, connections with in-kind donations. Maybe it's with
Yes.
Coca-Cola or Pepsi, through beverages or through
Yes.
food sources,
Yeah.
utensils, every little bit helps.
All of those things. Yeah. Uh, Reach out to us at that email, sos@summitav.net, and we'd love to follow up with you and connect on that because those are resources. Yeah, we are figuring out what we don't know, and figuring out each time we do a dinner, like, oh, it would be nice to get some more, the pans with the sterno. What are those called? The can't
Uh,
remember. Yeah,
oh, the
right.
chafing dishes,
The chafing
cracker
dishes,
shapers,
right?
yeah, uh-huh.
The chafing dishes. We got a couple of those for the last dinner. So each time we're like, yeah, what else do we need? And then to help leverage resources, and so people helping identify that, and yeah.
And you go through sternos fast, so that's
Oh,
a big one, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm
So
connecting the big
so
5.
in that's right. So those in-kind donations and figuring out, places that are that want to help and connecting us to them.
I also wanted to share too, with you being, where you're located, and if you could, Pastor Susie, can you just kind of describe where you're at?
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly. So Summit Avenue Presbyterian Church, we are 2 blocks up from the shipyard on the West Hills side of the shipyard. So we lease our parking lot during the week to shipyard workers, and they walk the 2 blocks down. So that's how close we are to the shipyard. So we're in West Bremerton, Navy Yard City. We were historically speaking, we have a historical marker on our building because we were the first church built and formed in this part of the city, and then the shipyard kind of built around us. And when the Baptists and Presbyterians got together to decide what the first church would be in this area, when the shipyard went in the 1890s, there were a few more Presbyterians than Baptists. So it was a Presbyterian church, but they collaborated well together for their first several years.
The 1890s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's his history. I love it.
Some history. Yeah. I know our building has gone through some different iterations through the years, as you can imagine, but that's where we are. We're just up the hill on Summit Ave. But use your Google Maps to get here with the address 403 South Summit Avenue, because Summit Avenue kind of breaks apart and has things in between it and then goes up a hill behind us. It's a weird street. We're not far from Forest Ridge Park, if you know where Forest Ridge Park is. We're just a couple blocks from that.
And Pastor Susie, I can't recall what number bus comes by the church.
You know what? When I said it earlier, I think it's...
I got it. It's the 220.
That's what I was going to say. It's the 220. Couldn't remember if it was 20 or 220, but yeah.
Yep, I saw it somewhere, and I'm like, I saw it, and I wanted to mention that. So it's also on the bus line.
Yeah, yep.
And the reason why I wanted to take a little time and talk about that is a lot of folks... We have a lot of food. We're food rich down in the Salvation Army area. And so it's great that you're in a different location where, you can feed a different population of people that can't make it down to Salvation Army, but also on the bus line that some other folks can say, hey, there's dinner on Thursday night. And I'm going to put those dates up there. The next one is June 20th. That's this Saturday, right?
That's this Thursday.
This Thursday.
3 days.
3 days. Delicious barbecue.
That's right.
And then July 25th, and then August 29th.
Yeah.
So, if you are a service provider or someone who could use a delicious meal and company and community, please get the word out and share that out. I'm sure as soon as possible, we will see SOS in the booklet on different food sources throughout the community as they update that, which is powerful. But please share the word. That is super important. There is not a Kitsap Housing and Homeless community coalition meeting this month. And so we definitely want to get the word out because it won't get out until the end of July, unfortunately. So, this is a big deal. So excited for you to come on and share. Anything else you want to share with us before you go on?
Yeah, no, this has been great. Thank you so much, Marwan. We appreciate your work that you're doing in the community, connecting people and showing up to all the different spaces. And we're grateful for your partnership in this. And we'd love to meet you and hope to see you at one of our dinners, or reach out to us if you'd like to find out more. There we go.
All right. Just wanted to pop that flyer up there. Summit Ave.net is the website, and they have a scrolling ticker where you can see the different things that are coming up there, which is where I got the Kitsap Transit 2020. And I'm like, I know I saw it somewhere. Where was it? That's right.
There it is.
But they have
dinners.
A great calendar. Another thing that I want to mention is it's not a requirement to attend church to come and fellowship and have food, but of course you are invited and welcome to attend should you want to, correct?
That's right. Of course, we welcome all. That one was one of those scrolls there. Summit Avenue is an inclusive, welcoming community. Our services are 10:30 on Sunday mornings. We have a YouTube channel, Summit Avenue Presbyterian Church in Bremerton. And so you can find us and watch any of our services online too, if you want to check us out before you show up in person.
Yep, and that's the website there. I'm just going to mute that so we don't.
Yeah, look at you, Marwan. You got all the links.
Well, I like to try to be ready for folks and answer all before they come out. But I did want to share that because a lot of times, sometimes people feel like, oh, well, maybe that's not for me because it's religious. It's like, no, it's open to everyone.
That's
I
right.
can tell you, as I have attended and was invited to speak, one of the friendliest congregations that I've been to. So
Oh, that's nice to hear.
very awesome. Well, I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for coming on. I hope that you get restored during your sabbatical. Get
Thank you.
some time off. Do you have any? What do pastors do on sabbatical?
What do pastors do on sabbatical? Well, they might sleep a lot because they're tired. Yeah, so yeah, it's recommended after 6 years of ministry that pastors get at least, get a 3-month sabbatical. So I've been here 12 years and I haven't had one yet. So I'm
Wow.
looking forward to it. And mine's almost 4 months. But yeah, I'm just going to be home for a few weeks, just catching up on things at home and spending time with my boys that are grown young men now, and my husband and the dog and the chickens, and that kind of just be in the garden and quiet with myself. I have some people I'm going to pray with and meet with and just do some spiritual direction. And then I also got some grant money from a few different sources, and my sister and I are doing a big trip together and traveling, and my
Nice.
husband and I are going to do a bit of it traveling as well. So yeah, looking
All
forward to
right.
it.
Well, I'd
Yeah.
love to have you come back on after your sabbatical and after you
Okay.
get
And I'll tell you all
reacclimated.
about it.
Yeah, tell us all about it, and maybe I
And
can ask you some questions, based
yeah.
on all the education and your
Oh,
experience over
yeah.
the
We
years. I think that'd
can
be
have a big theology discussion, Marwan.
yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I would be looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, thank you so much for your good work, Marwan. And thank you to all the listeners for taking time to be with us.
All right. So as we say goodbye to Pastor Susie, we will get ready to sign off here. Again, folks, there's a lot of really good things that are happening here in the community. We have someone in the chat here. I don't know if Pastor's still on. Oh, Maria Fergus says, "Hi, Susie. Happy sabbatical." Hit the horn there. Let me see. She's still there. Did you want to say anything? You
Yeah.
didn't.
Thanks, Maria. Appreciate it.
I just saw it. I was like, oh no, she's gone already.
Yeah. No,
All
I'm
right.
still here.
So we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye to Pastor Susie, and thank you for that. Oh, hate forum tonight at the convention center. What time is that, Maria? And it's good to see you. I hope you are doing well. But yeah, if you'll type that in the chat, just what time that's happening tonight at the convention center. Juneteenth at the library at Bainbridge Island at 7 p.m. Yes, thank you for that. 5 p.m. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the community. And you can get a lot of that information right here. But today, what we're talking about is, let's see, forum is at 5. Okay, perfect. The forum is at 5, and the Juneteenth at the library at the Bainbridge Island Library is at 7 p.m. tonight. That's going to be great. That's going to be a good panel discussion. There's always stuff to do in Kitsap County. Folks say there's nothing to do in Bremerton. That is not true. But anyway, SOS at summitave.net is where you can reach out. Again, that address is Summit Avenue, Presbyterian Church, 403 South Summit Ave in Bremerton. And again, they have now started a dinner service, community dinner. The next one is this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. The next one will be July 25th. And then after that, August 29th. They do need help to achieve their mission and to grow their mission. They're looking for everything from board members to food preparers to those that just want to love on community members, for those that want to fill in the gaps and help to grow this new nonprofit, the Summit Outreach Service program that the church has created. Again, many hands make light work, as the saying goes. There's never too much. There's no duplication of resources. we're all in need, and the need is great right now. So we just want to thank Summit Ave Church for joining the fray and doing even more than what they were already doing. As always, I am Marwan Cameron. This is The Conduit. Please take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we will see you